professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Limited time offer. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See participating centers for full details. AA, MCO.
When Forks first came into Europe, they were declared the work of the devil.
If you keep talking crap about forks, I'm going to smack your face.
Well, they are the devil's work.
Yeah, it is funny. Talk about the Elvis Presley of utensils. The fork, you couldn't show it from waist down. It just was always the Fork Report with Neil Saavedra.
Tomorrow afternoon at 2
On KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640. Bill Handel here. Friday morning, June 10th. We finish Handel on the news. Chris in for Jennifer today and on Monday. Wayne and me.
And a 14-year-old transgender girl and her mom are very upset because she was kicked out of a local church camp over gender identity, where she was a volunteer. And the people at this camp, it's called Connect Camps, they actually go around. It's like a traveling summer camp where they come to different communities and bring a summer camp experience for kids. And they said this person has made a life choice that makes it really difficult for us to keep working with her. She's welcome to come as a camper, but not as a volunteer or leader. And as you might imagine, the family is very upset at her gender status being called a life choice.
Yeah, and there's a little bit more to it because of the other girls were talking very negatively about her. And the camp says the camp asked them to leave.
They were also shown the door.
Right. So, but that's we've reached the point now where, unfortunately, where now the civil rights of the trans community has to move forward, like the gay community. It's now it's their turn to fight the discrimination and be part of mainstream. It'll happen.
If you consider it a choice, then trans people will never reach that same level of equality, because imagine a situation where a black kid was at a summer camp and other kids spoke negatively about this black kid. And the camp said, well, we told those kids who said those mean things to leave, but we're also asking the black kid to leave as well. And I'm sure I can't speak for the trans community, but certainly to the extent that they fight so hard to have it understood as it's not a choice.
It actually,
it's got to hit the same way that it would.
You're right. And the argument, the choice is to have the surgery or to cross into who you really are. Much like people who are in the gay community and come out of the closet. It's a choice to come out of the closet. And it's just accepting who you are. The same thing with the trans community. It is a choice to move towards who you really are. So the choice is not who you are, the choice is how you deal with it. But it doesn't even matter. It is, we have to come to the point where we accept people that are the wrong gender, the trans issue, or the right gender and they happen to be gay, and simply accept that, hey, welcome to the world. X percentage of people are gay. Now, X percentage of people are bald and loud and dark. And let's just move on.
Imagine yourself living in Isabella County, Michigan, and you make a phone call and you hear 911, what's your emergency? And you say, my next door neighbor is playing music so loud I can't sleep. And then 911 says, well, how about this? How about you walk over there and hand him the phone and we'll have a chat with him? Something like that could happen because high gas prices are causing sheriff's deputies in that community to handle some calls over the phone instead of sending out an officer.
That was a weird start of the story. I'm starting to look around saying, what story is this? I don't have it in my pile. But thank you for pointing that out. Well, there's no money left in the sheriff's department to answer calls because they can't afford gas anymore.
Yeah, but so they're still going to go out to the ones that necessitate having a deputy show up in person, but I don't understand, what they're going to do. Non-life-threatening calls that don't require evidence collection or documentation. What are they going to say? Deal with it?
They'll probably have to borrow the
No,
money.
they could take, for example, somebody vandalized my mailbox. They don't need to drive out there. Take a picture, send it to us. We can interview over the phone. When was it last intact, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, what about a loud neighbor? A barking dog?
Well, that's in progress.
They don't come in anyway.
Yeah, barking dogs, they don't do anything.
They don't do it. Loud neighbors, they don't do much either. I mean, they have to go over and over. All they're going to do is much like when you get a delivery, when you get a DoorDash, you pay, or pizza delivery, you pay a surcharge now for gas. You simply pay a surcharge for the cops to show up. That's all. It'll be an extra $2, for the cops to show up to cover gas. It'll be fine.
Looking forward to that.
A man has been found guilty of child abuse. They found this dude guilty of false imprisonment of a child, 3 counts of aggravated child abuse with a weapon, some more aggravated child abuse, child neglect. And the way that he was caught, and I think you may remember this story, when he was arrested, this family was eating at a restaurant called Mrs. Potato Restaurant. That's what it's called. And the server noticed that this one kid in the family was kind of kept away from the rest of the family, wasn't being given any food, was bruised and scratched. And so this smart-thinking server went up behind the parents, held up a sign to the boy and said, "Are you okay?" The boy nodded no. He held up another sign, "Do you need help?" Yes. Called 911, cops came out, they arrested this guy, and now fast forward to right now, convicted by a jury of all those counts.
You may remember the story of a baby born to Daphne and Alexander Cardinale. When they first saw their baby daughter in September 2019, they noticed that the baby had much darker complexion and jet black hair, unlike the rest of the family, and genetic testing showed that their baby was a biological child of some strangers. So they sued, and the woman and her husband have settled a lawsuit they filed against the fertility clinic in which they alleged, she gave birth to the wrong kid in 2019. Apparently, doctors put the stranger's embryo into the woman during in vitro fertilization. It was settled in principle. What does that mean?
They settled it.
Okay.
They settled it, but they haven't dotted all the I's, and if a judge needs to sign off on it, that may happen.
And they didn't say how much the settlement was. Right, but my question is, what do you think that settlement is?
7 figures. Yeah, probably.
But it's almost all entirely this squishy issue of like
emotional.
Right. I mean, obviously, let's say whatever they paid for the fertility services, they should get back.
Well, certainly, and they're also they had the kid for a couple of months and then discovered, but then they swapped him. Like, of course, yeah, they did. They swapped, and like spies swap. They take a bridge, and each one holds a baby, and they cross.
They send them across at the same time.
Right, and then right at the middle, they switch babies. And then they go on the way to the other side. Now, a quick point about the negligence here, because it's pure negligence. It actually has happened before. The way it works is embryos are fertilized, and they're put in this medium for a couple of days as the embryo divides, because you have to have, before you put it in, it has to be a blastocyst, so it has to be many cells. And there are these little petri dishes in basically an incubator, and they're labeled. It's not just one at a time. There are several in there on shelves. And someone just grabbed the wrong one. It has happened before. Now, the doctor here is arguing he didn't know, there was nothing purposeful. I don't know if they went for punies. I don't know if they went for intentional infliction of emotional distress. Of course, the doctor didn't do it on purpose, number one. Number two, it doesn't matter. It's still negligence. And then the emotional damage of having a kid that's not yours. But here's the difference with this, where I would have offered less money probably than what they settled for, although in front of a jury. They knew it was not their baby from the get-go. And it's to understand there's damages here, clearly. But, it's the hassle as opposed to you believe this is your baby, and then all of a sudden you're told it is not. You're bonded to this baby. And if I'm on the jury, I mean, I don't care about bonding. I don't understand bonding to babies. I don't get that at all. How do you, they're kids, they're like amoebas, when they're born. There's not much there. I have a very good relationship with my children, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Well, you're really trying to gin up your Father's Day gifts, aren't you? Wow.
No, but I think I'm fairly serious on this one. It's
you would attack. I just want to understand what you're saying. You would attack them for keeping the baby they knew wasn't there for too long.
No. What I would do is not give credence to the, oh my God, it's a mistake that was made. There should be some damages, but not multi-million, because it's not as if, oh my God, we thought it was our baby, then we were yanked from it, and so that's all. That's the way I would go. But then I'm a cynic when it comes to this stuff, because I've been around too many of these stories throughout my career in surrogacy and egg donation and reproductive law. Coming up, the January 6th committee. Last night it started. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Opinion without the preach.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Up it goes. I'm Chris Little, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Consumer prices have increased by 8.6%. That is the biggest jump in 4 decades. The increase last month was reflected in the higher cost of gas, food, and other stuff. The higher gas prices were to blame for most of that increase. The Congressional Committee looking into the January 6th riot at the Capitol has finished its first public hearing. A Capitol police officer hurt in last year's attack, Caroline Edwards, said the scene was like a war zone with so much blood she was slipping in it.
My foot caught the stair behind me, and my chin hit the handrail, and then at that point I had blacked out, but the back of my head clipped the concrete stairs behind me.
Edwards got a traumatic brain injury while fighting the attackers. She said some rioters that day called her a traitor, a villain, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's dog. A heat wave is going to bring temperatures soaring with heat warnings issued for the inland valleys this weekend. Todd Hall with the National Weather Service says there will be an excessive heat warning in the high desert areas and the valleys.
So temperatures out in the Antelope Valley, we're looking at very hot conditions. Temperatures right around 105.
Hall says the heat warnings and advisories will expire Saturday night and temperatures will cool down a bit on Sunday. If you're keeping track, the heat advisory starts at 10 o'clock this morning. Companies may have to rethink the packages they ship in California.
A bill moving through the state legislature would ban online stores from using plastic shipping envelopes and cushioning. Habits of Waste founder Sheila Moravati says she hopes the bill will make people realize there's a better way to ship online orders.
We can still receive our packages safely and in, great condition.
Moravati says the plastic used for shipping can't be recycled. The bill would also ban the use of styrofoam for shipping. It passed the Assembly and is in the state Senate. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
Yeah, Britney Spears is married. During her wedding yesterday, her ex-husband, Jason Alexander, apparently showed up to try and crash the wedding. He was eventually escorted away by police. Madonna, Paris Hilton, and Selena Gomez were at the wedding. Spears' wedding to Sam Asghari was small with only about 60 people there. We'll tell you about problems on the 10 coming up, but first, Wayne with sports.
Bats a-blazing for the Dodgers and the Chicago White Sox in yesterday's series closer, especially for Max Muncy, fresh off the injured list. He drove in 5 runs, including a 3-run homer to lead L.A. to an 11-9 victory. The boys in blue are at the San Francisco Giants at 7:15. You can listen live on AM 570 LA Sports. Walker Buehler will start. The Angels' losing streak is over, and Shohei Ohtani deserves almost all the credit. The Halos have been without Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, and Taylor Ward, but yesterday, Ohtani pitched and hit well enough to give the Angels a 5-2 win over the Boston Red Sox. They open a homestand against the Mets at 6:38 today. And Game 4 of the NBA Finals happens today at 6. The Boston Celtics lead the Golden State Warriors 2-1. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Some clouds and fog this morning, then sunny with highs in the low to mid 70s at the beaches, mid 80s about 90 for Metro LA, Orange County, mid 80s around 101 in the valleys, mid 90s around 105 in the IE and the high desert, about the same over the weekend. Little bit of a temperature drop for the lucky folks in the valleys. Right now, Fullerton 63, Anaheim 62 at 62 in West Hills, 65 in Burbank. On Wall Street, a bloody-looking day today. Right now, the Dow is down 2.2%. It's down 718 points. S&P 500 is down 2.75%. It's off 99.90, and the Nasdaq is down almost 3%, off 343 points. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places and let's check the 10.
You betcha, boy, all this heat, we got some encampment fires to warn you about. This time it's right outside County General Hospital is the eastbound side of the 10, City Terrace, halfway between the I-5 and the 710. It's off the freeway, but there is some activity, so don't let it be a distraction. More than a distraction now in Diamond Bar. This is where the West 60 and South 57 merge at Grand, right in the middle. A couple of left lanes have been blocked there, so both freeways are full. So, but once you get past that, the South 57 is okay, really, it's moving traffic, and the West 60 over the 605. Great news for locking out the West 210 and Express before the 2. All lanes have been reopened. All lanes were shut down. The delay is minimal, but still, if you want to use the 134, the North 2, it's still a pretty easy way up to the West 210 and into the San Fernando Valley. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With gas prices at all-time highs, now's the time to donate. Running or not, your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Donate your car today at carsforkids.org.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Here's the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in South Africa, put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get the timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900.
This is Jacob Emrani. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
KFI.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 640, Bill Handel here. Friday morning, June the 10th. It's going to be a hot one today. Summertime. It's going to cool down, I think, over the weekend by Sunday evening.